Ladies and gentlemen, today let's talk about a journey most of us hope to avoid, but that many have experienced: the journey of a woman with no friends. It's easy to feel as though friendship defines us, and that without it, something must be lacking within us. But today, I want to suggest something different. Imagine for a moment that you're facing that solitude as a powerful teacher. You're thrown into the depths of your own thoughts, your own heart, with only yourself to lean on. Some might say that's a dark place, but I say it's a place of rebirth. This journey, while tough, can give you something many people never get time to build: a true, unshakable friendship with yourself. In those quiet, seemingly empty spaces, you get the chance to reclaim your worth. To remember, or maybe even discover for the first time, that your value is inherent. It's not tied to who calls or texts. It's not in who's around, it's in you. Your worth, your beauty, your power are all within, waiting to be claimed. Yes, this path can feel like a test that often forces us to face our insecurities and fears. But every moment we spend overcoming those feelings, we're growing, we're strengthening. We're transforming from the inside out. Solitude, though often unwelcome, can be one of the most powerful teachers in our lives. When we're alone, truly alone, there's no one to mask our fears or insecurities, no distractions to divert us from facing ourselves. It's in these quiet spaces, without the constant hum of social chatter or validation, that solitude begins to reveal its lessons. Here in the stillness, we are confronted with our own thoughts, our strengths, our weaknesses, and our truest selves. It can be uncomfortable, even unsettling at first. We may start to feel restless, wishing for company or any distraction that could pull us out of this silence. But if we can sit with it just a little longer each time solitude shows us something remarkable, our inner voice, often drowned out by the noise of everyday life, starts to speak up. We begin to hear what we actually think, what we actually feel, and what truly matters to us outside the influence of others. In solitude, we have the freedom to explore our deepest desires and fears without judgment. There's no one to influence our thoughts or decisions. Here, we learn to rely on ourselves, to stand on our own 2 feet. We gain clarity on who we are when no one else is watching. And in doing so, we start to cultivate a deep sense of inner resilience, a quiet confidence that comes from knowing we can weather any storm alone if we need to. This process often leads to profound self-discovery. It's as if we're peeling back layers of ourselves that we didn't even know existed. We begin to see our patterns, understand our behaviors, and recognize our triggers. Solitude gives us the space to process past hurts, to heal, and to grow without the immediate pressure of returning to a role or identity that others expect of us. And while solitude can strip us down to our core, it also offers us the opportunity to rebuild ourselves in alignment with our own truth. We start to develop our values, our principles, and our sense of purpose from within, rather than adopting them from those around us. This is where we find strength, true, unbreakable strength, not because someone else is supporting us, but because we have discovered our own capacity to endure, to grow, and to thrive, even in the quietest moments. Self-companionship is the art of being truly comfortable with oneself. In a world that often encourages us to look outward for validation, acceptance, and love, self-companionship invites us to turn inward, learning to become our own source of those essential things. At its heart, it's about becoming a friend to oneself, a friend who listens, supports, and encourages, even through the most challenging times. When we practice self-companionship, we cultivate a relationship that does not depend on external factors. It's the ability to find joy, peace, and contentment in one's own company. This kind of connection with oneself can be life-changing, as it builds a foundation of self-acceptance and self-trust. We no longer feel the need to run away from ourselves or to constantly seek comfort in others. Instead, we find that we can be our own source of comfort, even in moments of loneliness or struggle. Self-companionship also teaches us to be gentle with ourselves. Just as we would be with a dear friend, we begin to practice kindness, forgiveness, and understanding toward our own mistakes and imperfections. Instead of harsh self-criticism, we offer ourselves encouragement and patience, creating an inner environment that feels safe and nurturing. In moments of doubt or failure, we learn to stand by ourselves rather than turning against ourselves, developing an inner resilience that helps us face life's challenges with strength and self-assurance. This companionship with ourselves also brings a sense of independence. We learn that we don't need others to feel complete, whole, or worthy. We don't need the presence of others to validate our experiences or emotions because we've developed the inner strength to process them on our own. This doesn't mean we don't value relationships, but rather that we approach them from a place of fullness rather than dependency. Self-companionship teaches us that we are enough as we are in any moment. As we grow closer to ourselves, we become more aware of our needs, our boundaries, and our true desires. We gain a clearer understanding of what brings us joy, peace, and fulfillment. This self-awareness allows us to live more authentically, to make choices that align with our true values, and to surround ourselves with people and experiences that truly nourish us. Reclaiming self-worth is a journey of rediscovering the intrinsic value that lies within us, untouched by external circumstances, achievements, or the opinions of others. It's about peeling away the layers of self-doubt and negative beliefs that may have accumulated over the years, often imposed by societal expectations, past experiences, or harsh inner critics. Reclaiming self-worth means coming back to a place where we recognize that our worth is not something we have to earn or prove. It is something that is already ours simply because we exist. This process begins with a shift in perspective. Instead of looking outward for validation or constantly measuring ourselves against others, we turn inward, learning to see ourselves with new eyes. We start by identifying the stories and beliefs that have made us feel less than, and challenging them. Maybe we've been told that we're not good enough or that we have to achieve certain things to be valuable. Reclaiming self-worth involves acknowledging these beliefs, understanding where they come from, and then choosing to let them go. Self-worth, at its core, is the unwavering belief that we are enough just as we are. It's not based on how we look, what we own, or how much we've achieved. It's a deeper understanding that our value comes from within and that no external force can add to or take away from it. This realization can be liberating, as it frees us from the constant need to seek approval, validation, or reassurance from the outside world. We begin to see that our worth is not conditional. It doesn't fluctuate with our successes or failures, nor is it diminished by our flaws or imperfections. Reclaiming self-worth also involves self-compassion. It's about giving ourselves permission to be human, to make mistakes, and to learn from them without attaching our value to our perceived shortcomings. Instead of judging ourselves harshly, we learn to treat ourselves with the same kindness and understanding we would offer a loved one. This process builds a foundation of self-respect, where we honor our own boundaries, recognize our needs, and refuse to settle for anything that diminishes our sense of self. As we reclaim our self-worth, we naturally begin to set higher standards for ourselves, not in terms of achievement, but in terms of how we allow ourselves to be treated and what we believe we deserve. We start to make choices that align with our true values and our authentic selves rather than bending to fit the expectations of others. This newfound clarity empowers us to let go of relationships, situations, or habits that no longer serve us, replacing them with choices that uplift and affirm our inherent worth. Reclaiming self-worth is a process that involves consistent, intentional work. It means reinforcing positive beliefs, surrounding ourselves with people who respect and uplift us, and allowing ourselves the grace to grow and evolve. As we walk this path, we gradually come to a place where we no longer feel the need to prove ourselves or to seek validation. We stand firmly in the knowledge of our own worth, confident and grounded in the truth of who we are. Growth through adversity is the transformative process that happens when we face life's most difficult challenges and emerge from them stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Adversity can be a brutal teacher, often coming without warning and testing us in ways we never anticipated. It's in these moments when we are stripped of our comfort zones and pushed to our limits that the true potential within us is revealed. Through adversity, we come face to face with our vulnerabilities, but we also discover inner strengths and resources we may not have known existed. When life's circumstances seem harsh or unfair, our initial reaction might be to resist or avoid the discomfort. However, adversity has a unique way of forcing us to confront ourselves and the reality of our situations. We're challenged to look at what we truly value, what we're willing to fight for, and what no longer serves us. This process often involves deep self-reflection, a reevaluation of our goals, and a reassessment of the way we approach life. It is through this intense reflection and confrontation that we begin to grow, not in spite of the adversity, but because of it. Adversity also builds resilience. Each time we encounter difficulty and choose to persevere, we strengthen our ability to withstand future challenges. This resilience doesn't mean that we're unaffected by hardships, but rather that we've developed the capacity to bounce back, to adapt, and to learn from the experience. With each setback, we gain a little more wisdom, a little more endurance, and a greater sense of perspective on what truly matters. Resilience becomes a mental and emotional muscle, growing stronger each time we rise after a fall. In the midst of adversity, we often discover our purpose or a deeper sense of meaning. The struggles we face can bring clarity to our lives, highlighting what is essential and helping us to let go of what is not. We may find that our challenges inspire us to take new paths, pursue meaningful goals, or advocate for causes we hadn't previously considered. Many people who have faced significant adversity go on to lead lives filled with purpose, driven by the understanding and empathy they've gained through their own experiences. Another gift of adversity is the empathy it instills. Going through hardship often softens us, making us more understanding and compassionate toward others. When we've experienced our own struggles, we're better able to relate to others who are going through theirs. This shared experience of overcoming challenges can create deep connections, a sense of community, and a feeling of shared humanity. Adversity humbles us, reminding us that we are all vulnerable and that everyone has battles they're fighting. The growth that stems from adversity is not always immediately visible. Sometimes it's a slow, subtle process that unfolds over time, gradually shaping us into stronger, more capable individuals. The scars left by our challenges may always be with us, but they become reminders of what we've endured and overcome. As we navigate future difficulties, these experiences serve as proof of our resilience, reminding us that we are capable of weathering even the harshest storms and emerging from them transformed. Building inner strength for future connections is about developing a stable foundation within ourselves that allows us to approach relationships from a place of confidence, resilience, and authenticity. Inner strength is cultivated through self-awareness, self-respect, and emotional stability, all of which enable us to engage with others in a healthy and meaningful way. When we take the time to build inner strength, we're essentially equipping ourselves with the tools needed to handle the challenges and complexities that relationships often bring without losing our sense of self. A key aspect of inner strength is self-awareness. By understanding our own needs, values, and boundaries, we're better able to communicate them clearly to others, and we're less likely to compromise our sense of self to meet someone else's expectations. This level of self-awareness helps us avoid codependency and enables us to enter relationships as whole individuals rather than seeking completion or validation from another person. When we know who we are and what we stand for, we attract relationships that are aligned with our true selves and that respect our individuality. Inner strength also comes from learning to handle our emotions independently. Instead of relying on others to soothe our insecurities or fears, we learn to comfort ourselves and work through our feelings in a healthy way. This emotional independence allows us to engage in relationships without overwhelming our partners with expectations they may not be able to meet. We recognize that while relationships bring joy and support, They are not responsible for our happiness or stability. This emotional resilience makes us more adaptable and understanding as we're able to weather conflicts or disappointments without losing our balance or sense of worth. Self-respect is another crucial element of inner strength. By developing a strong sense of self-worth, we establish the foundation for relationships that are mutually respectful and uplifting. Self-respect teaches us not to settle for less than we deserve and to recognize when a relationship is not serving our well-being. This strength empowers us to set boundaries and to walk away from situations that don't align with our values. When we respect ourselves, we naturally seek out connections that reflect this respect, fostering healthier, more fulfilling relationships. Building inner strength also prepares us for the inevitable challenges that arise in any relationship. Every connection, no matter how strong, will experience moments of tension, misunderstanding, or difficulty. Inner strength provides us with the patience and perspective to approach these moments with grace. We're able to listen, to empathize, and to work through conflicts constructively rather than reacting impulsively or allowing our insecurities to take control. This strength allows us to view challenges as opportunities for growth, both individually and within the relationship. Inner strength also enhances our ability to be vulnerable. It may seem counterintuitive, but the stronger we feel within ourselves, the more open we can be with others. When we're secure in who we are, we're less afraid of judgment, rejection, or vulnerability. This willingness to be open fosters deep, meaningful connections based on trust and mutual understanding. Our inner strength provides a safe foundation from which we can share our true selves, knowing that even if things don't go as planned, we have the resilience to move forward. As we build inner strength, we become more discerning in our relationships, more capable of offering and receiving love, and more equipped to create connections that uplift and inspire us. We cultivate the ability to approach relationships with a strong, grounded sense of self, allowing us to engage with others from a place of wholeness, authenticity, and inner peace. Harnessing independence is about embracing our ability to rely on ourselves, to make our own choices, and to pursue our goals without depending on external approval or support. True independence is a mindset and lifestyle that empowers us to stand on our own 2 feet, face challenges with confidence, and trust our own instincts. It's not about rejecting help or isolating ourselves, but rather developing a self-sufficiency that allows us to live authentically and make decisions that align with our values and vision. One of the first steps to harnessing independence is learning to take responsibility for our lives. This means acknowledging that we have control over our actions, reactions, and decisions regardless of our circumstances. By accepting responsibility, we gain the freedom to shape our lives as we see fit, without blaming others or waiting for someone else to solve our problems. This ownership fosters a deep sense of empowerment as we recognize that we are capable of creating the lives we want through our own choices and efforts. Independence also requires the courage to trust ourselves, especially when it comes to decision-making. Many of us are conditioned to seek guidance or reassurance from others before making significant choices, but true independence involves learning to rely on our own judgment. This self-trust allows us to take risks, pursue our ambitions, and explore new paths without feeling the need to conform to others' expectations. By developing confidence in our own decisions, we build a sense of freedom that enables us to carve out our own unique path. Another key aspect of harnessing independence is cultivating emotional resilience. When we can navigate our feelings on our own, without always needing someone else to provide comfort or reassurance, we become more self-sufficient. This resilience doesn't mean ignoring our emotions, but rather learning to process them in a healthy, constructive way. By becoming our own source of emotional support, we're able to approach life's ups and downs with greater stability, knowing that we don't need to rely on others to maintain our inner peace. Independence also enhances our ability to set and pursue personal goals. Without the need for external validation, we're free to define success on our own terms and work toward what truly matters to us. We're able to focus on our passions and priorities, dedicating time and energy to the things that bring us fulfillment. This autonomy in goal setting allows us to lead a life that's aligned with our values, fostering a sense of purpose and satisfaction that comes from knowing we're working towards something meaningful on our own terms. Harnessing independence means valuing our own company and developing a strong relationship with ourselves. When we're comfortable being alone, we no longer feel the need to seek constant companionship or approval from others. We're able to enjoy solitude, reflect, and grow without relying on outside validation. This self-reliance creates a solid foundation for personal growth, as we're no longer limited by the opinions or expectations of others. Instead, we're free to pursue our own interests, dreams, and aspirations without fear of judgment. Independence also fosters healthier relationships, as we're able to engage with others without relying on them for our sense of self-worth or happiness. When we're self-sufficient, we approach relationships from a place of choice rather than need, allowing us to form connections that are based on mutual respect and genuine compatibility. This freedom from dependency enables us to maintain our individuality within relationships, contributing to partnerships that are balanced and enriching. Authenticity as a result of solitude is the profound self-awareness and genuine expression that emerges when we spend time alone, away from the pressures and influences of the external world. In solitude, we are given the space to listen to our own thoughts, to explore our beliefs, and to understand our emotions without the constant feedback, opinions, or expectations of others. This uninterrupted time with ourselves allows us to shed the layers of social conditioning and to discover who we truly are beneath the roles we play and the personas we may adopt to fit in. As we embrace solitude, we start to uncover what we genuinely like, what resonates with us on a deep level, and what values we hold dear. Away from the influence of friends, family, and society, we begin to make choices and form beliefs that feel true to us rather than simply conforming to what's expected. Solitude allows us to test and refine our principles and preferences, leading to a clearer understanding of what is authentically us and what is not. This self-exploration creates a foundation of authenticity that is rooted in our own experiences and reflections rather than in external approval or validation. Spending time alone also invites us to confront aspects of ourselves we may have been avoiding or suppressing. In solitude, we have the chance to sit with our imperfections, our insecurities, and our past experiences, allowing us to process and integrate them in a healthy way. This honest self-reflection is essential for authenticity, as it allows us to accept ourselves as we are with both strengths and flaws. The acceptance we cultivate through solitude empowers us to show up in the world without needing to hide, embellish, or alter parts of ourselves to fit in. Solitude also sharpens our ability to listen to our inner voice. Without the noise of social dynamics, we can hear our intuition more clearly, guiding us toward what feels right and meaningful. This strengthened intuition is key to authenticity, as it helps us make decisions that align with our true selves, rather than decisions driven by fear, social pressure, or the desire to impress. When we trust our inner voice, we become more comfortable following our unique path, even if it doesn't conform to others' expectations. The authenticity that grows from solitude also enhances our interactions with others. When we are comfortable and honest with ourselves, we are more likely to communicate openly and genuinely with those around us. We no longer feel the need to mask our opinions or alter our behavior to please others. Instead, we can express ourselves honestly, knowing that our sense of self is not dependent on external approval. This self-assuredness fosters relationships based on mutual respect and understanding, as we attract connections that appreciate us for who we truly are. In embracing our true selves through solitude, we develop a presence that feels grounded and unwavering. Solitude fosters authenticity by providing the space to discover our true selves away from external influences and societal expectations. In the quiet of being alone, We can explore our thoughts, values, and emotions without judgment, allowing us to shed the masks we often wear in the presence of others. This process of self-reflection helps us identify what genuinely resonates with us and what we believe, rather than simply conforming to external pressures. Spending time alone also gives us the opportunity to confront our insecurities and past experiences, embracing both our strengths and flaws. This acceptance builds a foundation of self-trust and confidence, empowering us to show up in the world as our authentic selves. As we learn to listen to our inner voice, we align our actions with our true desires, creating deeper, more meaningful connections with others. Solitude then becomes a powerful tool for cultivating a life of authenticity and self-expression.